Mzwai Mbeja standing by. Mzwai, once again, good morning, and it's back to you. Mzwandile, can you hear me?
Hello?
Mzwandile, it's back
Oh,
to you.
welcome to Rustenburg Civic Center. We're here at the ANC celebrations, and of course there are many things that are happening. Maybe aside of what is happening in the ANC, there's also work that was done with regards to government, especially on AGOA. With me is Minister of Trade and Industry, Minister Rob Davis. Welcome, Minister.
Thank you very much.
Good news yesterday.
Yes, we completed all the processes that will give effect to the basically the entry of the 65,000 tons of chicken that was already agreed in last year in June. And that all the sanitary and phytosanitary agreements that need to be given effect to that have now been concluded. So that was signed off yesterday at about 11:30 our time. So all the regulatory processes on our side to give effect to that have now been completed.
Did it include changing our stance regarding health issues on our side?
No, it was a lot of technical discussion. Systems are not the same. How to find a balance between the two systems. But I think that we've come out of this with confidence that we will not be exposing South African consumers to unacceptable risks, either to human health or to risks of animal health in the local poultry herd. So the last thing that was coming up was the question of salmonella, which is a human health issue. And we've had our vets and our health authorities, we're basically the leaders on this one, but now this has been concluded, and so everything is now in place and ready to implement that agreement, which was the fundamental agreement, which was reached in Paris in June last year, where our Poultry Association worked with government. I think we need to acknowledge the patriotism of them, because they had nothing to gain, but they realized that the AGOA issue was a bigger and broader issue. We were asked to simply remove the anti-dumping duty. We said, well, no, but we can negotiate a quota within it. And then there was a question of the tonnage. The initial demands were more than double what we eventually settled on. So we settled on 65,000 tons of bone-in portions. There were a couple of other sanitary and phytosanitary matters around beef and around pork. They were also settled yesterday. So I think that we've done everything that we can do from the government side. What we now wait to see now is the action of the commercial players, the exporters on the United States side, the importers on the South African side. But I think we're confident that we've done what's necessary in order to secure South Africa's continued participation in this important trade relationship, AGOA.
Are you sufficiently satisfied that this is a win-win agreement?
Well, there is a win-win element, and the win-win comes on our side in the market access, which we continue to enjoy, including for agricultural products, citrus, macadamia nuts, canned fruit, avocados, various other agricultural products, as well as products like motor cars and stuff like that. That's the win on our side. What we were made aware of as AGOA was renewed in September was that members of the US Congress were insisting that we also deal with the question of access for some of their meats, and we have now dealt with all the issues on the regulatory side in connection with that.
Thank you very much, Minister.
Thank you very much.
There you have it, the Minister clarifying some of the issues relating to AGOA. You know, yesterday that America and South Africa agreed on what should happen. It had become a sticking issue, the issue of poultry. But of course, back to the business of the African National Congress, we know that today is the 8th of January, the actual birthday of the ANC. And with me is Nomvula Mokonyane, the head of campaigns, who would be able to tell us what have they planned to do today. Welcome, Minister, or the NEC member in this capacity.
Thank you and happy birthday to the ANC. We're going to have a number of activities that are taking place here today in and around the Northwest. The national chairperson of the African National Congress will be visiting the Ramutsiri Muilawa family to go and pay condolences on behalf of the ANC, and then there will be a cake cutting ceremony. This morning, the Deputy Secretary General of the ANC has visited hospitals to go and hand over goodies for babies that were born today. Again, as a best wish from the African National Congress. President Jacob Zuma is going to have a ceremony here with traditional authorities, of course supported by members of the National Executive Committee, and that is where we're going to cut the main cake of the birthday. We have two of them. The main cake is the one that the President will be cutting, and then wishing the ANC well, as we also can't wait for tomorrow, which is our big day. What is quite exciting as well is that at 12 midday, the ANC Youth League and other members of the ANC and supporters will actually be embarking on a motorcade, and 12 midday it will be hoot for the ANC. We've got motorcades, we've got drum majorettes, we've got everybody. People are just volunteering to be part of this, the growth of the African National Congress.
We know that traditional leaders were very important in the formation of the ANC. Is it the reason why you're cutting the cake with them today?
It is so important that we must appreciate and use the celebration, the anniversary of the ANC, to educate and remind ourselves of where the ANC comes from. The role of traditional leaders is quite important. Yesterday we were with the religious sector, and that also is another demonstration. The ceremony at Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, because of Zambia having been the home of the African National Congress for years. So yes, the significance here in the Northwest with traditional leaders. It's also how traditional leaders here in the Northwest have played a very important role during the underground years of the African National Congress. It's a birthday party with the structures that were part of the founding of the movement.
Is it also the strategy, perhaps, to reconnect with the ordinary folk, because there are some accusations that you are slowly drifting away from your core base as the ANC?
The issue of social distance continuously crops up, but I'm sure everybody can attest. It is only the ANC that is forever gets seen doing door to door, spending odd hours interacting with ordinary South Africans. That's what the ANC is good at. What might have been an issue, it's about structural relations with different communities and organizations. But what is of importance is that we can attest that our structures, our branches, the National Executive Committee, we've brought everybody here. The celebration, the prayer service yesterday with the Ministerial Forum led by Domine Dani, a white priest, was a demonstration again about our commitment for non-racialism. So the issue of social distance, it's always being said, but we are forever conscious that we do not have to slide backward and move away from our people.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and happy birthday to the ANC.
I guess it's happy birthday to the ANC. There was Nomvula Mukonyane, the NEC member. She is head of campaigns and organizing in terms of the elections. We will be bringing you a lot of coverage. As you can see behind me, there are tables where the cake, there'll be a program of cutting the cake, and President Jacob Zuma, surrounded by traditional leaders, will be leading that process. It should happen in the next few minutes. So once that happens, we'll then bring to you live. It's back to the studio for now.